Hello, everyone. Thanks for tuning in once again to Queen Amadai TV Presents True Crimes. So as you're coming in, please feel free to go ahead and subscribe to the channel if you haven't done so already. Be sure to click the notification bell and click the word all so that you're notified each time the Queen Goddess goes live. Okay, so let's get ready to get into it. Let's get ready to get into it, people. Now, I'm sure you all have heard by now, years ago, about Scott Peterson, who murdered his wife, Lacey, and their unborn child, and chopped up her body and threw it in the river, tied duct tape around the infant's neck and all of this. Well, actually, the child was unborn, but he obviously took the child out. I don't know, because he put duct tape around the child's throat, as they reported. But anyway, so they're trying to get him a new trial because they're now alleging juror misconduct. And this woman was on here talking real crazy, acting as though, the prosecution just had it out for him, as if they were just trying to pin something on him. When we had Amber Fry, who was the witness for the prosecution, who said that she was having a full-on affair with him and didn't know anything about him being married in the beginning of their relationship. And then come to find out, that's why he murdered his pregnant wife, Lacey. So let's get into it. Scott Peterson returns to court amid push for new trial over alleged juror misconduct. So Scott Peterson, who's serving a life sentence for the 2002 murder of his pregnant wife, Lacey, and their unborn son, Connor, appeared in court in California on Wednesday, where a judge will evaluate allegations of juror misconduct and ultimately determine whether to grant Scott Peterson a new trial. Now, prosecutors and defense attorneys appeared in person at San Mateo County Superior Court, while Peterson participated in the hearing virtually from San Quentin State Prison. Now, his defense team has argued in a habeas corpus petition that given the pretrial publicity, one of the jurors failed to disclose her own history of domestic abuse while pregnant in order to get the jury to convict him. Clearly, they're grasping at straws, people. I mean, the man obviously did it, right? I mean, they just need to get over it and let him take his fate. Now, San Francisco County Superior Court Judge Ann Christine Masulo's hearing on Wednesday was brief, as the Stanislaus County District Attorney's Office and Peterson's defense team, including lead attorney Pat Davis, weighed in on the timeline for several motions to be considered by the court. Now, the judge did not announce any decision on evaluations in juror misconduct, but scheduled the hearing, the next hearing that is, to be September the 22nd. And at that time, Masulo says she would set the date for the evidentiary hearing, which will be crucial in determining whether a new trial will be granted. So they're going to bring new evidence. That's what this is all about, honey. They have an evidentiary hearing, and so they're saying they're going to bring new evidence, right? Peterson's sentencing hearing will also be postponed until next month. Peterson listened into the hearing by phone and told the judge he agreed with the timeline that was set forth. Meanwhile, Scott Peterson's sister-in-law, Janie Peterson, is arguing that there is new evidence that proves his innocence. Now, mind you, this is his sister-in-law. Now, if there is new evidence proving he didn't do it, honey, I would love to see it, okay? I would love to see it. So hold on just a moment. I'm going to see if I can find that video. Here it is right here. I'm going to show you the video of his sister-in-law talking about his innocence. Let me share my screen. Everyone, please get those likes up. Please like and share, subscribe to the channel if you haven't done so already. Be sure to click the notification bell and click the word all so that you're notified each time I go live on this channel. So let's watch this video, because I'm really surprised that his sister-in-law thinks he's innocent.
And joining me from LA, renowned criminal defense attorney. She was on the original defense team for Scott Peterson. Are you surprised that the state is again seeking the death penalty on Peterson?
No, not really. I was expecting them to do that. They'd invested a lot of time and energy in getting the conviction and, of course, the death penalty. I was just surprised at the way they did it. They announced it in the courtroom, and the defense had no idea it was coming as far as with the decision itself. I mean, it has been maybe a month and a half to 2 months since the Supreme Court decision, and they announced their decision to go for the death penalty again and retry that in the court a couple days ago.
Question to you, Laurie Retzian. Why are you not surprised the state is seeking the DP on Scott Peterson again? And why are you surprised they announced it? They were having a hearing. Scott Peterson was there via video link. Why not go ahead and let everybody know what's happening?
The reason that I'm not surprised about the decision is that not necessarily because I believe one way or the other, as far as Scott Peterson is concerned. I mean, I clearly, my position has always been in the position of the defense team, and I'm sure you could hear it when Pat Harris was speaking about it, his current attorney, that the defense team always believed and was very supportive of Scott, and we believed that he was stone cold innocent. And as far as the decision, I mean, I always knew the prosecution was always out to get. They were going to do everything possible to get Scott, and they're just not going to walk away from it. So does that surprise me that
Hold
they've
on.
decided?
You think the state was, quote, out to get Scott? Your words?
Well, I mean, they're prosecutors, and their job is, if they go after somebody, the idea is that they would put them in prison. If it's a murder, they'd want them to go away for life or get the death penalty. I mean, that's what they do. So it's not
when
that
you say
simple
they're
for them to
out
just say
to
suddenly
get
walk
him,
away.
when
Well,
you
yeah,
say
of
they're,
course, I
quote,
think they were
out to get him, I mean, to you, Bobby Chacon, some people would call this seeking justice. That's what some people would say, Bobby.
But a defendant also, by the way, deserves justice. I think Lacey and Connor deserve justice because the people who really perpetrated this crime should be arrested and tried, not the wrong person.
I would very much hope that the prosecutors are out to get Scott Peterson. I would hope that they're out to get anybody that commits such a heinous murder. I mean, like the defense counsel said, that's their job. Their job is to go out and get the people responsible for these heinous crimes.
But I don't like the way it's being said they're out to get him. I don't think they're out to get anybody like some kind of vendetta. I think they're out to seek justice to convict the person that committed a double murder.
You heard that right. Now, his sister-in-law was talking as if he's innocent. I'm amazed. This is his sister-in-law, obviously the sister of Lacey, the wife that he murdered. Now, though the juror may not have disclosed the fact that she was pregnant and had also previously been in a domestic relationship, okay, fine. But at the end of the day, this man is guilty. Now, Belinda, you said he was convicted because he had an affair. No, beloved. He was convicted because he murdered her and that unborn child. That's what he did. There was so much evidence that proved that he did it beyond a shadow of a doubt. Now, they didn't convict him just because he had an affair. They convicted him because he absolutely killed that woman. And because the woman, Amber Fry, whom he had an affair with, she was the prosecutor's star witness. And the stories that she told him was able to corroborate, prove that he did it. I don't know what his sister-in-law is talking about, honey. Maybe she has been messing around with him or something previously. Who knows? But at the end of the day, that man did that. Who else would come into their home, kidnap his pregnant wife, kill her and the unborn child, and then toss them in the river? Who would have motive to do that besides a lying, cheating, no good, nefarious, clearly depraved husband? He did it. That is just a fact. That is just a fact. And we know that oftentimes the Hellman's crew will murder their spouse just to be with the person they're having an affair with. And I don't understand why, for the life of them, they can't just get a divorce and move on with yourself. Go on and live your life. If you don't want to be with the person, that's fine. Just leave. But no, they'll go out there and kill them. They'll go out there and kill them. Sandy says, I was just about to say the same thing. Is the sister-in-law sleeping with dude? Probably she was. Yes, something's crazy. Like, how does that even make sense? You're sitting here defending this man. I mean, the evidence was stacked against him so hard. I'm sorry. There was no way around it. And as we know, when a spouse is killed, it's usually the other spouse who did it or someone that they know, right? So I'm sorry. But yes, all that information that Amber Fry said on him, you know, the phone calls, and she even, if I'm not mistaken, Amber Fry, that is, the key witness, She even recorded him saying some things. She even recorded him, had him on record, on audio, saying certain things that made it easier to establish his guilt. So he did it. There's no ifs, ands, nor buts about that. And so with that all being said, he needs to be exactly where he is, honey. They better not let him out. And they have all these black revolutionaries still in there who didn't kill anyone. Okay? Hold on. So, hold on. Let's get to the details of it all. Let's get to the details of it all. Why is this popping up on here? Okay, now listen to this. On December 23rd, I'm about to give you some details of the case. Now, on December 23rd of 2002, at approximately 5:45 p.m., Lacey and Scott Peterson went to Lacey's sister, Amy Rocha's workplace, her salon, where Amy cut Scott's hair as she did each month. Okay, so she was friends with him. That's the sister-in-law, Amy Rocha. Now, she cut his hair once a month, so clearly she was friends with him. And probably a little bit more if you ask me. But anyway, I digress. So as they spoke, Scott offered to pick up a fruit basket that Amy had ordered for her grandfather as a Christmas gift the next day because he would be playing golf at a course nearby. Now, prosecutors say Scott also told other people he would play golf on the day of Christmas Eve. Her mother, Sharon, spoke with Lacey on the phone at around 8:30 that evening, apart from her husband, Scott. The last two people known to have spoken to Lacey before she disappeared with her half-sister, or were her half-sister Amy and her mother Sharon. So her mom and her sister were the last ones to speak to her prior to her disappearance. Scott later told the police that he saw his wife at about 9:30 a.m. on December 24th when he left to go fishing at Berkeley Marina. Now, he said Lacey was watching a cooking television show, preparing to mop the floor, bake cookies, and walk the family dog to a nearby park. At the time of her disappearance, Lacey was 7.5 months pregnant. Later that morning, Karen Service, a neighbor of the Petersons, stated that around 10:30 a.m., she found the Petersons' dog, a golden retriever named Mackenzie, alone outside the home and returned him to the Petersons' backyard. Now, another neighbor named Mike Chiavetta said he saw Mackenzie at around 10:45 a.m. as he played catch with his own dog. The Modesto Bee also reported an unnamed female neighbor who found the dog with a muddy leash wandering around the neighborhood. That neighbor put the dog in the Petersons' yard, not observing anything out of place. Scott said he returned home that afternoon to find the house completely empty. Scott told Lacey's mother that he found Mackenzie in their backyard, though she related in her book that he later denied this. Now, Lacey's 1996 Land Rover Discovery SE was in the driveway. He showered and washed his clothes before he said he got wet from fishing, or because he said he got wet from fishing. This is what Scott Peterson said. Here's the thing I find curious. Now, when he came home and saw that his pregnant wife was not there, but yet her car was in the driveway, the dog was in the back, and it clearly been out because it was dirty, I'm sure. Why didn't he have any questions? At the moment, he just took a shower as if nothing was strange or curious about that scenario. Now, according to ABC News, Scott reported Lacey missing from their Modesto home. However, the New York Post reported that when Lacey still had not returned home by 5:15 p.m., Peterson called his mother-in-law, and that a half an hour later, Lacey's stepfather, Ron Gransky, called the police. Now, the Modesto Bee also attributes the first call to the police from Gransky, not her husband, Scott, but from her stepfather. This is the first one who called police. Now, after the police arrived at the Peterson home, Lacey's keys, wallet, and sunglasses were found in her purse in a closet at the home the evening of December the 24th. The dining room table was meticulously set for a family dinner the following night. One detective found a phone book on a kitchen counter open to a full-page ad for a defense attorney. Scott was reported to be completely calm. Now, he's calm while his pregnant wife and unborn child are missing. He's not the first one who initially called the police. And he was sitting there very calm. Now, Modesto police detectives John Bueller and Alan Broschini, the lead investigators on the case, questioned Scott that evening. And although Scott initially said that he spent the day golfing, he later told the police that he had gone to fish by sturgeon at the Berkeley Marina. At 2:15 p.m., he left a message for Lacey stating, "Hey, beautiful, it's 2:15. I'm leaving Berkeley." Scott stated that he went fishing about 90 miles from the couple's Modesto home. Detectives immediately launched a search, but were surprised by Scott's behavior. Bueller told ABC News in 2017, he says, "I suspected Scott when I first met him. Didn't mean he did it, but I was a little bit thrown off by his calmness, his cool demeanor, and his lack of questioning." He wasn't even asking questions. He wasn't like, "Will you call me back? Can I have one of your cards? What are you guys doing now?" He wasn't asking any of those questions. That is just normal for someone to ask. Now, on April the 13th of 2003, a couple walking their dog after found the decomposing body, but well preserved, of a late-term male fetus in a marshy area of San Francisco Bay Shore and Richmond's Point Isabel Regional Shoreline Park, just north of Berkeley. Its umbilical cord was still attached, appearing to have been torn, not cut or clamped as the normal practice after birth. Although a judge sealed the autopsy results, an anonymous Associated Press source revealed that 1.5 loops of nylon tape, i.e. duct tape, were found around the fetus's neck, and a significant cut was on the fetus's body. Now, one day later, a passerby found the body of a recently pregnant woman wearing beige pants and a maternity bra washed up on the eastern rocky shoreline of the bay. 1 mile away from where the baby's body had been found. Now, the corpse was decomposed to the point of being almost unrecognizable as a human body. The woman had been decapitated and her limbs were missing. He dismembered this woman, including most of her legs. Now, on April the 18th, 2003, the results of DNA tests verified that they were the bodies of Lacey and her unborn son, who was supposed to be named Connor. How sad. This is just so sad all over again. It was sad when it happened, and it's still sad now to this day. To think of that poor little child being ripped from his mother's womb and taped and strangled with duct tape by his own father, no less. Oh, so sad. So the autopsies on both were performed by forensic pathologist Dr. Brian Peterson. No relation to Scott, by the way. According to the autopsy, Connor's skin was not decomposed at all, though the right side of his body was mutilated, and the placenta and umbilical cord were not found with the body. Lacey's cervix was intact. The exact date and cause of Lacey's death were never determined. She had suffered 2 cracked ribs, though Dr. Peterson could not determine if this occurred before or after her death. Lacey's upper torso had been emptied of her internal organs, except for the uterus, which protected the fetus, explaining the lower level of decomposition that it experienced. Now, Dr. Peterson determined that the fetus had been expelled from Lacey's decaying body, though he testified that he could not determine whether the fetus had been born alive or dead. Okay, so Scott Peterson didn't remove the fetus from her body. I'm wondering, how did the nylon tape get around the child's neck? That's clearly strange. So they said there was no food in his stomach, which would have indicated a live birth had it been present. And the Associated Press observed the doctor's testimony appeared contradictory at times. Though he stated that no cause of death would be determined for Lacey or Connor, he also said it was her death that caused Connor's death while he was still in the uterus. So I'm just telling you, there it is. He absolutely did it. Yes. And her father, Lacey's father, Dennis Rocha, died December the 9th, 2018 at the age of 72. Yep, at the age of 72. On August 24th of 2020, in a 7-0 decision, the Supreme Court of California upheld Peterson's conviction, but overturned his death sentence because Peterson's trial judge, Alfred DeLucci, who had died on February the 26th of 2008. He had dismissed the jurors who opposed capital punishment without asking them whether they could put their views aside. So Justice Leandra Kruger explained that per U.S. Supreme Court rulings since 1968, jurors may not be excused merely for opposition to the death penalty, but only for views rendering them unable to fairly consider imposing that penalty in accordance with their oath. This is the meaning of the guarantee of an impartial jury. So they ruled out the death penalty. They rescinded his death penalty. So with that all being said, this man clearly did it. I mean, it all sounds so nefarious. Okay? I am right black for this nefarious story, says Vince I am. So there you have it, people. Like I said, this man did it. He absolutely did it, honey. There's no doubt about it. Yvette said hatred to the highest height. Absolutely. Contrice says he didn't want that baby. He didn't want the baby or his wife, honey. Like I said, he was having an affair with a blonde by the name of Amber Fry. So no, he didn't want the baby and he didn't want his wife. And it was imperative for him, in his mind, apparently, to get rid of his wife and child because he was having this relationship with Amber Fry and he never told her he was pregnant. He never told her he was married and that his wife was pregnant. So likely he didn't want to get caught up in his lies and he just wanted to be rid of Lacey and the unborn child. That's how he killed him. Country says, Queen, do you believe pain and suffering will continue to come from them as payback to what their ancestors did to our ancestors, honey? I don't know. It looks like they're having a good time if you ask me. Maybe it will. I don't know. But at the end of the day, it looks like they're on top. Susan says it was cheaper for him to try and get away with murder. If he sought divorce, he would have to pay alimony and child support. Yes, I know. And that's often why they do these things. But how stupid is that? Because now you're in prison. So you don't have the money for alimony or child support. So make it all make sense. This is all so stupid. BTO says, sounds like the sister also wants Scott. Yes, absolutely. I agree. Because who would be defending this? It's so clear and obvious that he did it. You know what I'm saying? And not to mention, the sister, like I said, she was cutting his hair once a month. He was going to pick up gifts for her to drop off to her father. I mean, you're doing all that for your wife's sister? I'm just saying, could have been something shady going on. Clearly, it sounds like it. Stephanie says in 2020, he got caught stealing unemployment money from behind bars. I'm not surprised. I do remember that. When some of these prisoners were stealing and collecting unemployment benefits. Yes. Absolutely. So anyway, with that all being said, that concludes this broadcast. I want to thank you all for tuning in. But listen, don't go anywhere. Join me in the next chat started immediately following this because I have another story. It's nefarious. It's about Becky, who was accused of participating in a murder. She got off only to go and kill someone again. Now, if that isn't the epitome of white privilege, I don't know what is. So stay tuned because I'm going right into that following this. And make sure you like and share the video. Please subscribe to the channel. If you haven't done so already, click the notification bell and click the word all. And I hope to see you all in the next chats. Peace.